What is up, guys? In today's video, we're going to be spectating random players in Fortnite Zero Build, going over what I think they do well, what they could do differently, and just the state of the game right now. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like to see more, comment down below what you think of this week's update. I think overall it was pretty solid, but a lot of players are kind of disappointed with the amount of change in this update. It wasn't like the biggest update of all time, but I enjoyed the new exotic weapons. I think each of them I enjoy. The shockwave launcher, the Fury AR, and the precision SMG are all like solid to use, I think. Be landing at this little bug outpost, or this OXR outpost that is taken over by bugs this game. These can be a pretty good landing spot, but they can also be a really chaotic landing spot. And so making a spectating video here is hard, because if this guy dies before I'm actually spectating him, it'll just send me across the map. Okay, here we go. This has the purge the outpost objective. So when you destroy the 2 gold stashes and the 2 purple nests, you will get a drop which contains a vulture boon. I don't like him focusing on that player that much, though. That's like a kill that he's very unlikely to get with the revolver from that range. And as I said, these places can be pretty chaotic off spawn. It seemed like there was a lot of players landing here. And so I think it's best you just focus on people that are actual threats to you. Like this player. Like if he was more concerned about killing that guy rather than the one that's like across the map, then like maybe he gets better timing on that fight. And you see here, this is like the chaos I was talking about. And if you're a controller player, it can be so awkward in these fights because of the bugs. And even if you aren't a controller player, it can be awkward because of the bugs, but that's Grief Famous says. If I was this guy, I would just want to get up on the roof. He can get up on the roof and heal and then like reload all his guns, and like things are going to be fine for him. Like a lot of these players are really shambles, and like by continuing to chase here, his game doesn't really get better. We know there's somebody else in the POI here, so over focusing this kill I think makes him like an easy potential third party for that other player. And you see he has 6 minis, 2 bigs. Like he could easily be full HP and like give himself the best chances to survive. Like, it is chaotic, but, like, I feel like kind of knowing when to slow down in these places is, like, really nice as well. Just any chaotic UI for that matter. Maybe the other player left, though, or there isn't another player. Maybe it was an NPC I saw and thought it was another player. Either way, his inventory was good. Over chasing that Gorilla's skin is, like, one of the few ways he loses, I think. Like, if he just, like, chills and heals, way less risky. But it might have been the Night Rose earlier that I saw and thought was a player. Using the shotgun on these things sucks. Like you just want to AR them. Okay, now he gets his drop. But as I said, I believe this is going to contain the vulture boon. So I don't land at these a lot. You previously got forecast for doing it. From what I've been told, they added this new purge the outposts objective. And when it's purge, you get the vulture boon. Like you can see here, it has the bird on it. And I guess if you have a defend the outpost spawn, you still get forecast from it. There's a car pulling up on him. This, yeah, I was going to say that should take priority over looting. Prison's just going to leave. He did get to A tier, so he can open up the exotic weapon bunkers. If I was him, I would probably want to pad over towards the hive and then maybe get the mythic revolver or go towards that bunker. But I wouldn't care that much about this kill. This one kill is kind of pointless. He gets it. That's good. But I would really want to, like, okay, see, the player eliminated the hive. That's what I was going to say. If I cleared this and saw that the boss was still alive at the hive, I would be, like, wanting to get to there ASAP so I can, you know, capitalize on that chaos. Maybe third party that player getting the boss and then get that mythic for free. And there are a lot of launch pads in that little area, so he doesn't need to use his shockwaves there. And then after getting this, he could get the exotic weapon bunker, which has a lot of loot and an exotic weapon. I don't know how much he actually hit the player there for. I think it was just a 62 blue. This player's going to have the exotic wrecker, and so damage-wise, they have a definite advantage on him there. But if the player we were previously spectating gets here a little bit sooner, like if he ignores that other one that was just leaving in the car, I think he's a better chance of winning that fight. It's like less random because he's like third-partying this guy getting the boss. If you're this guy, I would want to go towards that bunker. These people hate having shockwaves in their inventory. Alright, now he's got the roly-poly so he can get to the bunker, but like with the changes that were made with like the removal of the shockwave launcher, I feel like any mobility you get is at like a premium. And there's definitely a chance he gets more mobility from this bunker, and you can purchase mobility at the OXR shops. Either shockwaves or crash pad will spawn at each of the shops. But yeah, just wasting 3 shocks like that is unfortunate. Like we'll see if he ends up getting in like a scuff fight and needs shockwaves here. I definitely get wanting to leave the bug areas, especially if you just killed the queen and you've been dealing with that all game, but yeah. So he got the precision SMG. I like this weapon, but I think of the exotics currently in the pool, it's one of the more underwhelming ones. Like it's kind of fun to use, but I don't think it's like the greatest weapon of all time. And even when I'm using it, sometimes I kind of question like if it is even worth using or if I'd be better off with the OXR. But it has a red dot, which is something that only the DMR has as well, but it is hit scan, so you don't have to worry about bullet drop or travel time. And in the past, one of the things that was really just terrible about the precision SMG is its mag size. It has 21 rounds. But you can get the extended mag boon, which I believe bumps you up to 26. And also, like, the magazine size complaint, I feel like isn't as big of a deal this season because everything kind of has that terrible mag size. But, like, it's the amount of damage you can get in a mag, I guess, is kind of underwhelming sometimes. Like, the OXR hits harder. It does reload really quick, so that's not always going to be the biggest concern. But, like, the mag size is really problematic to me when, whenever I'm trying to, like, fight somebody that's, like, shockwaving away or crash padding away. Like, if you need 1 or 2 shots to kill them and then they, like, get away because you had to, like, reload for that, like, brief time. That's unfortunate. That is another thing that was added in this week's update is the NPCs now spawn in those little orange stashes, and you have to free them. And then from what I've been told, if you free them from that, you can actually hire them for free. But I don't really mess with the NPCs too much. I believe this one is the heavy specialist, so he throws grenades, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I think the most valuable NPCs are still going to be the supply ones, as I was talking about before. Mobility is at like a premium this season. So if you have that supply NPC, you can get it to give you shockwaves if you hold the shockwaves out. And then the scanner ones are obviously always good as well. This is a point of the game where I feel like a lot of players kind of struggle for what to do, especially with the removal of the medallions. That isn't like an objective to go for anymore. Could go for this bunker. Like, he got this bunker. You could check this one out. It's been a while, but there often is people fighting around them. And then also this gas station over here is usually pretty populated, and there's a supply drop there, so I would expect enemy players to kind of be in that area. So if I was looking for kills, that's where I would want to end up going. But this player still has no mobility, so if I was in their shoes, I would want to go to one of the OXR shops. These little shop icons on the map, as I said, each of them does sell mobility. I believe it's just random game to game, whether or not it's crash pads or shockwaves. But either way, having one of those mobility items is certainly better than having no mobility at all. You see an enemy there? This is not the ideal way to play, and it's an AI, so it doesn't matter. But if he tries to play like that versus a human, that's decent. I think he's going to quickly be going back to the lobby. There's an enemy jumping on him with a roly-poly. They rocket launch him, but I believe they missed. Oh, gosh. He's dead here. Even if he gets this kill, there's a third party in a car. I don't know why this third party hasn't killed him yet, but that's Fortnite. What is going on? They're, like, confused by his AI, I think. And they got hit by the exotic shockwave launcher. I guess that's what happened. They, like, wanted to kill him with the exotic shockwave launcher. But what this does is it launches people into the air and then holds them like that. This siren seems decent. That was like an awkward, messy fight. He's repositioning because there's a third party. I like this. But that shockwave launcher puts you in the air and just holds you. So I've seen a lot of people pick this up and they're like, this is the worst mobility item of all time. It's not really a mobility item. The main way you want to use it, I think, is just use it on enemies like how the siren did. They didn't really need to do that, though. Like, they could have just shot their AR once and then got the free kill. But I think they were, like, trying to use this because they, like, want to use it, you know? It is very good, but like when you're trying to force it, it can be kind of bad sometimes, I think. Like sometimes you just make the fight more complicated than it needs to be, you know? He can get this kill out of there. He's going to chase with the pad itself. He has no heals. 2 shockwaves. He's full HP though. Where's this player land? This player hasn't had any opportunity to heal either though because they've been padding. This roly-poly can easily get knocked out. Enemy there. Unfortunately, they hit nothing with the rocket. Holy. He could easily knock this player out of the roly-poly if he wants to. But I think he wants to get closer. That way he can shockwave them. Like, I think this player isn't, like, just trying to shockwave people. Maybe not. Or shockwave launch people. Now they get their S tier pod, which I believe improves the accuracy of your weapon, which with these third-person weapons is pretty nice. They have no heals. There's big pots on the ground there. I would like to see them take them. That's another thing. The S tier pod always contains a flare gun, so you can kind of just recycle it once you get it. Like, you can pick it up and shoot it a few times if you're not, like, actively under pressure. One thing I do like that this player did, though, like, this is obviously just, like, a good player. When they were getting third-partied, they immediately just, like, shockwaved away and used the heals. Like, a lot of players there, I think, would try to, like, just preemptively getting away from the third party before it's problematic, I think is good. If they were trying to heal before shockwaving away, like, it might have cost them. It can obviously cost you if they shoot you out of the sky as well. And unfortunately, like, the legendary slurp can't be used while in air. But if you're fighting in an area and you think you're about to get third-partied, just, like, getting out of that area is one of the best things you can do. 10 opponents remaining for this player. I expect them to win the game, though. Unless they kind of troll themselves, like, kind of trying too hard to make the shockwave launcher happen. From what we've seen of this player, they fight well and make decisions quickly. And the times they haven't, like, fought well, like I said, they were kind of trolling themselves, trying to, like, force the shockwave launcher to happen. But if they care to win the fight, I think they will. There's 8 opponents remaining. Rift pod spawning in. This has legendary slurp juice in it, and I would definitely want to be going to get those. And it's just an objective that other players are likely going to be going for. At this point in time, with, like, the removal of the medallions and how scuffed mobility is, I've been running Fizz a lot for my heals. But if I didn't have Fizz, then I would really want to have the legendary slurps. He seems to think there's somebody in here. I don't know if he got, like, visual audio or what. Oh, yeah, there is somebody here. Okay. Maybe he heard them or got visuals there. I'm not sure. I did not hear them or see them, though. But just as soon as he got in that building, you could tell he thought there was somebody in there. This is going to be awkward because he's getting both of them. But he went higher for some reason. Unfortunately, it's no shots there. See, this is, like, what I was saying about the shockwave launcher, though. They're, like, trying too hard to force it. And this, okay, that was almost a game for them. The shockwave launcher exotic is an incredible, like, situational item. Like, there's some fights where it's one of the best things to have in the game because you just launch somebody into, like, the area and then they can't defend themselves and you just gun them. But when you're trying too hard to force it like that, it's just not good. I feel like the bug blaster and the rocket launcher are also kind of very OP situational items. But if you're trying too hard to force them in the situation where they're not good, like trying to put the square peg in the round hole or whatever, like, you can really, really cost yourself. And I know because I've experienced it trying to, like, get content on these items, like forcing myself to use it for the sake of the video or whatever because I want more clips of it, you know? If you use these items and just kind of use them when they're good and, like, kind of play normally, and then if that situation happens, then cool. I think that's kind of the best way to view, like, the situational items. But as we've seen a few times, I think this player has had a lot of fights that were close to people that, like, they're much better than because they were trying to force it. Interested they took the sweeper there instead of the pump. I do not care for the sweeper very much, but with how awkward some of their fights have been, it seems like the sweeper may have been, like, better for some of those fights. I typically have just been running the Wrecker Revolver as my shotgun, though. Shot's, like, back into his left, I think. Right there. It's an AI, I believe. Did the drop pod get taken? It did. There's a real player somewhere over there that got that. I believe it was, like, over on this mountain somewhere. Oh no, I accidentally swapped trying to zoom in on the map, man. Why do I always do this? There we go. This is one of the bad things. Okay, nice. That crash pad is still alive. I was going to say it's one of the bad things about the roly-poly is... Wow, he went nowhere. With the roly-poly, if it gets shot, you're just knocked out of it. And that can create some weird fights. I don't know why that Dark Bomber went nowhere with the shockwave launcher. He's getting chased here with crash pads. I think. Yeah. What is... I guess if you're barely on the radius of it, it doesn't last very long. I don't know. Because both those, like, past 2 fights with it, like, he barely had enough time to shoot at the enemy at all, and that's normally not how it works. He's gonna pop this slurp just because he doesn't want to carry it, and the way the slurp juice works is your HP just regenerates over time. So, like, while it's active, he's regenerating shield. If a fight happens now, that's great. And if you have the slurps in your inventory going into the final 1v1, just, like, popping it before that fight is really overpowered. And when we had slurps in the game, like in Chapter 4, that was something a lot of players did. He just did it just because maybe if a fight happened, it would be useful. But if you're if I had 2 going into the final 1v1, I would definitely want to like pre-pop one. The final 2 players may just end up being AI though, as typically happens with Fortnite. And we have this large zone for 2 enemies. He's probably just going to go up on this mountain here just so you can see like as many things as possible. And it also makes it easier for him to push them too when he does inevitably find them, because you can like fizz shock from the top of this mountain and go very far. The audio with these bunkers sometimes plays whenever you walk into the radius of them. So like that door wasn't just opened. We saw the player take it earlier. But just first, like it's Fortnite, there needs to be audio bugs. And so... you just get to hear that over and over again if you walk into the area. I don't know if there's any cars here. Like, there's some that can spawn here, but I don't know if they're there. They're, like, to the right. He didn't really look over there. A new fizz. Now he's going to fizz to give himself the effect. This is something that I just probably wouldn't care to do. Like, he's going to move a little bit faster for now, but it's, like, I don't even know if he actually goes faster than he would have just because of that time spent stopping, but it's, like... it doesn't really matter. This point in the game is so, like, boring. And this is, like, if Fortnite could address any problem in the game, I think this would be, like, the biggest problem to address. Is just, like, how slow the end games typically are. Whether these final people are AI or not, like, we had this large zone with very few players remaining. And so... like, the game is just going to be very slow. One thing I would like to see is just, like, shorter zone time if the lobby is, like, exceptionally dead. I don't make games, so I have no idea how that could work. But, like, we don't need the full wait time for, like, all these zones when it's just 2 people that are, like, hiding, you know? Or not even really hiding. It's just, like, the zone is so large that, like, it's not really likely that you run into enemy players. Like, each of the final players could just be doing exactly what this guy has, and they just happen to not cross paths because of how large the zone is. If there's somebody camping here, he could shockwave onto them and then shockwave launch them, like if they were in that bunker there. He's just going to go zone, though. Part of that building is in zone. But he wants to get on top of this mountain, I think. But same thing. If there's an enemy camping on this mountain and he has to take it, he could fizz shock and then shockwave launch the enemy and then beam them. I think that's one of the situations where it would be really good. Or if he's up here and they're pushing into them, you can just shoot it down. Just heard shots over there. Like over here, I think. It sounded like a minigun got shot. But it's weird because there's not constant fighting, so I don't know why that person would have shot. Like, the minigun is a close range weapon, so usually if it's getting shot, it's happening. And I thought maybe I was insane, but he reacted as if he heard those shots too. Look at how large this zone is, though. Like, look at what's shrinking for 2 people. He may have just seen something there. Yeah, okay. I was going to say, he definitely seems like he sees something. This is a free kill. He just AR them. If they get to that rock, he could shockwave launch it. Yeah. He doesn't hit it. He shot it. Oh, wow. He did. Okay. It affected through the rock. That's actually crazy. Unless it was a spectator bug and he actually shot it to where like it was next to the player. Like spectator mode is just trash. But that kind of goes to show what I was saying. Whenever someone's like using cover against you like that, things like the rocket launcher, the bug blaster, and then the shockwave launcher are just like perfect for knocking them out of it. Hitting enemies with the shockwave launcher can be kind of weird sometimes though. Like the trajectory of it isn't the easiest to make that happen. I'm scared for him like falling off this fox head. I don't know why, but I'm like worried that's gonna happen. You could also shoot it into that bush down there just to check if they're in there. Like he has 16 rockets or 16 shots of it. The one that was like directly underneath him, the bush. This is scary. One of the few ways he loses this game, I think, is just being on this and getting fried. He doesn't need to be. His zone's going his way. Like this bush, you could just shoot the shockwave launcher in. Just any bush you see, if you can hit it in there. Like the enemy inside would be like completely caught off guard. It's going to be really hard for the enemy to play the game because they have to like rush up this mountain. If you're in this player's shoes, you just want to get to the top of the mountain as soon as it opens up. Like I wouldn't want to be like chilling down here, but he could just like fizz shock from this bush onto the mountain and be fine. But like just getting to that first makes the game so easy for you. Hopefully he is actually playing. Imagine he just left, like he had to go do something. His mom told him to bring in the groceries and now his game's over. Okay. They're driving in a car. You want to get shots on this as much as you can. I don't even know if it matters. I don't think they can get up here with the car. They just zipped up. They're behind him. They tried to hit the zip, I think. I don't know if they fully did. Okay, they did. He's going to try to shockwave launch them. They get it. This is game. This person could maybe shoot the rocket launcher down or the bug blaster down from that. But, or if they have the Fury AR, they can aim in from the top. But like, even the rocket launcher, by the time the rockets would have hit this player, like the guy up top took so much damage that it's like game over. And the fact that he ended up like behind the enemy also made it very hard for them to win. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I think this player was actually quite good. They just tried to force the shockwave launcher a little too much. The in-game was slow, but I feel like everybody's in-games have been rather slow this season. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, find it helpful, informative, or interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.